All right, welcome to episode 29 of Inside the Paint. Here at the normal crew today. After a nice week off, we got some topics to discuss. So let's start with some of the older stuff. In between the last episode, Kemba got traded. So, well, let me read off the thing. So, OKC got Kemba and the number 16 pick. In exchange for Al Horford, Moses Brown, and another pick. So, what team won that trade there?
Celtics.
I say the Thunder.
I also say the Thunder.
I say the Thunder, not because they got Kemba, but because they got a pick. They could use that pick for either a mid-round steal or trade it for another asset.
Exactly. They have so many first-round picks.
Horford is well past his good playing days. He is a backup at best. He won't do anything for him.
John?
I agree. I agree that Al Horford's days are behind him. I believe that pick is very valuable, especially to a rebuilding OKC team. But we have seen Kemba this year. He's ass. Absolute garbage. Worst player in the fucking league.
Right.
So we have to acknowledge that before we go further. He's not a good point guard anymore. Don't know what it is. Maybe it's a new.
It could have also been the fit with Boston, though.
It very well could have been.
Right.
But
so then you have that. You have that potential. Plus, then you have the number 16 pick, which again you can bring along with the. I don't even know how many first round picks they have in exchange for a better player.
They have a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole bunch
of picks. Double digits first round pick in the next 3 years.
Yeah, and I mean, they've definitely done really good, especially with that Paul George trade. Right. And seeing this now, seeing how the Clippers are going now, there's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
OKC won that trade for sure. But when we look at what the Celtics are getting, they have a young star in Jason Tatum. He's only going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
He may not be able to completely carry the team as of right now, but he can in the future. You got younger guys that are still on the team, such as Moses Brown, who are obviously now on the team, who have been dogging out, mind you. The Celtics are in need.
Bro, I literally told you that Moses Brown was dog. No, he's not. No. I told you he's putting up like Shaq numbers, like 20 points and 20 rebounds.
No. He put up one game where he did 20 points, 20 rebounds, and everyone was like, he's the shit. He's been doing really good for a young center. And that's exactly what the Celtics need. And they've also got a older big man in Al Horford now to help coach out some young guys. He's already been involved in the Celtics organization, right? Easy transition there. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, these guys are going to start stepping up. They also have a pick that they can use to get more backup guys to go with Al Horford.
Are you really like trying to pair up people with Al Horford though? Is that really your priority?
No, it's not my biggest priority, but I mean, look at what happened with what team am I thinking of here? I don't know what team I'm thinking of here.
All right,
it's on the tip of my tongue. But they had a really, really, really good roster, but they had no bench whatsoever, and they lost. The Clippers, that's what it was. They had no bench, and they lost.
Clippers have one of the best benches in the league.
They do now, but in the past, when they had Chris Paul, when they had who's the other guy's name?
Blake Griffin.
If we're talking about Lob City,
Blake Griffin. Lob City Clippers. They did really, really, really well in their regular season, but they couldn't perform in the playoffs because they had no bench. They just had the three bigs.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, it's a great trade. It values both sides, but you cannot convince me, you cannot tell me the Celtics didn't win this trade. They got a young center who's been doing really well in OKC on their team, which is exactly what they need to pair up with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum.
Listen, they already have Taco Fall. Okay. Discussion
Let me tell
ended.
you something.
No, I'm done with this discussion.
OKC won the trade.
You got
you go.
me. I don't even
told
know
you.
what to say.
OKC definitely won the
I
trade.
told you.
No,
OKC
you
won
can't
the
tell
trade.
me. Nope. Then
Nope, I
in
just
one ear,
did.
out the other. In
Oh.
one ear, and then it went right out the other.
Hmm.
See how that works? But
Oh wait,
didn't even go through this at all.
John, I have a question for you. That's a nice T-shirt. Where did you get it?
You know, Luke.
And what is it actually? I don't even know what that says.
Oh yeah. It's a little bit reversed here. I don't know if you guys
No,
can actually.
no, it's not reversed for us.
No, it's actually good.
It's not reversed
Yeah.
for you?
No.
Okay, good. So essentially, I was scrolling through Instagram and I got this, I like to follow a bunch of basketball pages. So I go through and essentially I see this new, I'm on my Discover page and I see this new Instagram page and they're called Inside the Paint. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll check them out a little bit. I saw a link to their podcast. I listened to a few of their podcasts. They're really smart. They know a lot about basketball. Very entertaining, if I do say so myself. And I noticed that also in their Instagram bio, they had a link to our apparel store.
Who's our? I thought you were just randomly. God, he is such a bad actor.
To their apparel store. I'm sorry. I'm so connected with these guys. I feel like I'm one of them.
Right.
And so I click on it and I saw this. I saw a bunch of T-shirts. I got 3 of them, and I saw this T-shirt. And this T-shirt says, "I am a LeBron sexual." And then down here, wherever it says John Swolstead. I was like, "Oh, that's my favorite one on the podcast. I love John Swolstead." And so that's how I got this. Essentially, got this T-shirt.
That's a great T-shirt.
I think it works really well. I love the color.
Well, you're allowed to pick whatever color you want for it, but
I love the color. I love the fonting, and I love the little LeBron emoji that they have right here, right underneath my nipple.
Exactly. That's exactly where I wanted it to be.
Exactly. I would have liked it more. I would have liked it more if he was on this side, so he could be close to my heart. But
right,
it is what it is.
Yeah, but then I don't think your camera would be able to see it that much with your microphone in the way. So
what I'll do is I'll get a heart transplant and move my heart over to this side and move whatever's on this side over here.
Listen, all I'm saying is, John, I heard your anniversary is coming up. So
yes,
what's a better gift than giving her one of those T-shirts?
This one right here in particular?
Yeah, man, just get another one from the shop.
I will. That's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Dude, that would be awesome if you did that. And that's the only gift you give her. It's just that T-shirt, nothing else. No flowers, no nothing. Not even a happy anniversary. You just give her that T-shirt.
That's gonna be Macy's Christmas gift. I'm a LeBron sexual T-shirt. That's it.
There you go.
John Swolstead.
Yeah, it's gonna have John's quote on a shirt.
I'm famous.
You are famous. You have your own shirt now.
I have my own shirt.
You know you made it when you have your own shirt.
That's right.
Ben's is coming up. I don't know yet.
You gotta figure out what my saying is.
I know. I feel bad, but Ben doesn't have a catchphrase.
We have Luke, we have John, and now we need Ben.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll
get there. In time.
You guys had a few more podcasts to figure everything out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're never mind. I was looking at my stream. I thought I'd fix something. But anyways, so my nets.
It sucks. It hurts, don't it?
I just want to say it's KD's fault. If that man didn't have such big ass toes, if that man didn't have such long toes, it would have been a 3.
If that man wasn't so good, you guys wouldn't have even gotten to that game.
I'm just joking. But that man has some big ass feet. I'm just saying. If he would have just
have like size 18 shoes.
Oh my gosh, I've seen a picture of him. It looks like a Subway foot long sandwich. It's just
$5
long. like dude.
Just I'm done. I'm done with this conversation. I can't even believe you would joke about that.
About what, KD's ginormous feet?
About KD being the reason that they
Oh
lost.
my God, no! He fucking carried that team.
He carried that team.
But my
His
question is,
shoulders carried the world.
where do they go from here? Because again, they have Kyrie coming back from injury, and they have Spencer Dinwiddie, which a lot of people forgot about during the entire season.
Run it back the same exact way.
Steve Nash and the entire front office need to do everything in their fucking power to keep everyone there.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Especially Dinwiddie, because he could be a key part on that bench now that Harden's
I think
there.
Blake Griffin. I think you should keep Blake Griffin.
Oh, Blake Griffin turned out to be actually great bench player, which is
he turned me wrong. He proved me wrong.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I said.
Turned me wrong.
He turned me the wrong way. No.
A few episodes ago, I had said that Blake Griffin going to the Nets was going to hurt them, and it did not. It helped them a lot.
Oh yeah, didn't you say he was a locker room cancer?
Yes, I am an adult. I'm an adult. I admit my mistakes. I made a mistake.
Well, that was also when
Blake Griffin
it was before he even played a game, and it was Detroit Blake Griffin, where the man hasn't dunked. He definitely was faking. He's
I legit did not expect him to. I knew he wasn't going to be a locker room cancer, but no, I didn't expect him to perform even half as well as he did.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think a big part of it was that Blake Griffin has been on like a winning team when it comes to the LA Clippers for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to Detroit, and now they're like a really bad team, and he just didn't care anymore.
In the next coming years, though, I have a feeling Detroit's going to be.
I think so too.
Also, like when you saw LA Blake versus Detroit Blake, especially in the later years in Detroit versus what you saw in Brooklyn, Blake Griffin was like the only man in Detroit for those final 2-3 years, and he just could not. He physically couldn't do what he needed to do, or else he would have gotten injured. He knew he physically couldn't sustain that. In LA, he was one of the big three, so he could do that. The attention was on other people. He could do that in Brooklyn because he's coming off the bench and he's not expected to play 30+ minutes and make 20 dunks a game.
Right.
So he's able to perform so well, and I think that,
I also think it was different,
especially at this age in his life.
Yeah, for the coaching staff at Detroit, I definitely thought they had a different plan for him. Again, 30+ minutes. He's seen that he's extended his shot range, so now he can shoot threes. So they want him to do all this different type of stuff instead of just letting him do what he wants to do for a short amount of time, and then he's actually more impactful with less time, which is good for the Nets, obviously.
To be fair though, he was the best guy on that Detroit team. He just wasn't physically able to do that anymore.
Yeah,
and that's not really his fault either. Shit happens. People get older. But if I'm being honest though, the entire Brooklyn Nets, I thought if Kyrie or Harden came back, they were going to win that series.
Harden he came back.
Harden came back. Him to lose 2 games with Harden.
Yeah, the thing is though, he was. I'm sure that he wasn't fully recovered, and which means he really couldn't. You didn't see him drive that much.
You could see in Game 6 he played 25 minutes and scored 5 points.
Yeah.
He really? Oh my God.
Yeah. He was not anywhere. He was rushed back.
Yeah, he was definitely rushed back, and then you could obviously see when he was playing, he didn't drive as much because of the hamstring. So that also,
yeah.
And I bet it's the jump shot too, because you're jumping up and down on this freaking hamstring over and over all game. So I bet it didn't feel uncomfortable, or I bet it didn't feel comfortable, and that's also why he didn't hit shots. So,
okay.
Yeah,
I didn't realize his stats for those games, but I just knew he came back, and I thought, oh, they got it.
After a couple games, though, he started getting 20 points and all that stuff, which helped. But so now we have the Detroit winning the lottery, and Cade Cunningham, not Cunningham, is projected. Okay.
Well, did you guys see his Instagram live?
No.
Oh
I
my
saw like a
god.
snippet of it, and everyone's making a big deal. I never watched the whole thing. What happened there? Because I know a bunch of fans jumped on with him, and something happened.
Yeah. So I don't remember if he was the one who said it or if like basically he did like a joint I don't know what that shit is called. He went live with someone else,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
a fan or whatever, and the fan said like, "Good luck, Daddy." And I guess he got really into it, and everyone was like, "What the hell? Guy's weird." So you're not too far off there, Luke.
Man was having fun with his fans. Come on now.
I
You
I
can't
agree.
blame a man for having fun.
No, I agree. I mean, I don't really see what the big deal was, but it was just pretty funny to see that.
Also, how often do you see athletes do anything like that, especially at this level? Like
Not
it's rare.
often.
Yeah, it's very
Not
rare.
often.
Okay, I'm
So
trying to find this picture for the projected starting lineup. But so
Well, we in terms of Detroit getting the first overall pick, last time they had a pick in the top two, they drafted Dargo Milicic over Anthony, Wade, and Bosch. So let's hope they've learned from mistakes and don't fuck this one up.
right. But
I
yeah,
just, I just, I just want to say that.
and
Please don't
Cade
fuck this up.
Cunningham, he wants to go to Detroit. I guess he's not even going to practices with other teams or tryouts,
Yeah,
not tryouts, but
I yeah, he said either he said or like it broke that he was only
he's
going
only
to one team's workout. I was
yeah.
like, fair enough.
And I guess that's Detroit. So I guess he's committed to Detroit already. That's if they pick him, because this year's there's not really one key number one pick. It's kind of just the top
Yeah,
three kind of have the same potential. Um,
I'm being honest.
I think it. Oh, go ahead, Ben.
This is like a whole nother like conversation and stuff, but I don't like the idea of like having private workouts with teams. I don't. It's not that there's anything shady that happens there, but like, what on earth for a team? What on earth is a guy running around the court with no defense, no game pressure, just chucking up shots and doing dribbles? What's that going to show you that 30 plus games at either other professional league and college and the G League didn't show you? Like, if I was a player, I'd be like, no, if you're not, I'm not showing you anything special here. Like,
yeah,
if you don't like, I'll go into a film room and talk with you because you can't see that on tape. But if you can't find something in the 30 plus games or even more I played in college, then you're then an hour workout's not going to change your mind on drafting me.
That makes sense now that you say that. I can understand exactly what you're going for.
Yeah. Especially like in football, they make a huge deal about the combine and team workouts and pro days and stuff. I'm like, anyone can, we always had a saying in football, like anyone can look good in shorts and a t-shirt. Anyone can look good without any pressure on them,
Yeah,
without anyone defending them or going up against them on offense. Like, I mean, shit, you give me a basketball, I could look like Shaquille O'Neal for 30 minutes.
yeah,
You put me to a game, I'm going to be dog shit, but you give me no one to go up against defensively, I'm going to look like I know everything about paint and all that. But
okay. So
yeah,
well, real quick, I just want to say, can we do an inside the paint pickup game?
am I going to be driving
that'd
five
be hard.
hours just to?
I would say that'd be hard to like get together, but
Yeah, but let's say that it happens. Let's say that Luke comes back to Mount Vernon. We could get Will here from DC. We're all relatively in the same area. We're in the same state at least.
shit, I'd be down.
I'd
I
be
mean,
down too.
damn. I mean, John, me and you could do a one-on-one in the next like month and a half before school gets started again.
Ben, we've done one-on-ones before, and I don't know if I want to be embarrassed like that. Ben's pretty good at basketball.
Decent.
He's a hell of a lot better than I am.
Okay, here we go. So here's what the projected lineup would probably be if Detroit picked Cunningham. So it'd be Killian Hayes at the 1, Cade at the 2, Sadiq Bey at the 3. Oh, I lost the thing. Hold on. This is
They have Jeremy Grant at the
Jeremy
4.
Grant at the 4, and then Plumlee
And
at
he's
the 5.
doing really good now. Jeremy Grant's doing really good.
So with that lineup, say
Last
give
year.
it, not Cade's rookie year, but let's say his sophomore year. Once all the jitters of rookie are out, and you're playing the game, you've had experience.
Hypothetically, it's the same roster in his second year, correct?
Yes, yeah. Let's just say it's the same
Okay.
roster as well. What's that team getting?
I think potentially could make a playoff push, but will probably fall either in the 10 or 11 seed when it's all said and done. Detroit has, yeah, they have Grant. Plumlee's pretty decent. Cunningham's supposed to be really good. You know, you give them a year or two, but they have no bench. They have no veterans. They have no true leadership. Even in Cade's second year, if everything is the exact same, they're not making the playoffs.
Not even
that's
in
why
the
they call
play-in
it-
tournament.
Oh crap! I forgot about the play.
Yeah,
could
that's not
poten-
leaving anytime soon.
Yeah,
No.
they could potentially get the 10th seed. But it'd be a miracle if they even win one game.
All right, John. What do you think?
I think their first priority that they need to do is keep Cade Cunningham. They can't get rid of him. And I'm looking more so than just 1 or 2 years in the future.
Okay. I was gonna
Because-
say, I'm like, I don't think a contract's that short.
No. But, I mean, if I'm a basketball player, Detroit's not my first option, right? So, it all depends on whether or not Cade actually comes out and performs well. I mean, first round picks, or I'm sorry, number 1 overall picks are notoriously busts. And we obviously have to see what that is. And he might not be the first pick.
Right.
They could always just decide
Let
to
me,
do someone else.
let
That would be
me-
pretty shitty.
I
But
do have a
Yeah,
mock
if-
draft here.
If they do draft Cade, develop Cade like a motherfucker,
Oh,
and
definitely.
then build. You keep Cade, you keep Jeremy Grant, and you try to build around those two. Let those two be the cornerstone for the next decade of your franchise.
I agree.
Okay.
How old is Jeremy Grant?
He's probably like
23, 24?
he's probably like
Is he really
mid-twenties.
that young?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's young.
That is like 26.
Anyways, here's the mock draft. So they have this is by Gary Parrish. They have Cade going number 1. They have
Yeah, he's 27.
Oh.
Shit, really?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought this man was pretty old.
Maybe Grant won't be there for the next decade, but still, you could.
but
I mean, he
It's
could still make an impact until he's like 33-ish.
Still gives you time to develop Cade and build a team.
Right.
they have Jalen Suggs going number 2
Oh, that's
to
the second
Houston.
pick.
Houston.
Okay. Houston definitely needs a guard.
I've seen multiple one of these. The Cavs with the 3rd pick either pick Evan Mobley or Jalen Green. That's who I always see with
I
the
think-
mock drafts.
Which one is the forward again?
There's
Green.
no Green's a shooting guard primarily. He might play small forward.
Well, I don't need a small forward.
Evan Mobley's a center. There is a small forward.
I'd get Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
Because we
Because
have
you
a,
have Sexton
we have
and then Okafor, right? Not Okafor.
Yeah, Okoro.
Okoro, there you go.
Mhm.
Isn't he your small forward?
Yes,
Or shooting
and we
guard.
have 2 guards. And so Darius Garland's the point guard. We have Colin Sexton. We have Isaac Okoro. And we have now, fuck you, Luke, Jarrett Allen. We need a power
It's
forward.
fine. I got
and we
Claxton
need
anyways.
Okay.
I'd rather have
You got KD. That's all you need right there. I don't care about Claxton.
I care about
What?
Claxton. Everyone counts.
Okay, you can have him. I'll take Jared Allen.
Okay.
Allen.
Let's just go through
That's
the
a
rest
good
of the
young
mock
score
draft.
right there.
Rest of the mock draft. Orlando with. Oh, sorry. So in this mock draft, they have Evan Mobley for the Cavs. Your phone just fell, John.
Yeah, I did.
Jalen Green goes to Toronto with the 4th pick. Jonathan Kuminga goes to Orlando. Scotty Barnes goes to OKC. Davion Mitchell, point guard, goes to the Warriors. Moses Moody goes to Orlando. I forgot they have 2 top 10 picks. Keon Johnson goes to the Kings. He's a shooting guard. So I also heard that they're exploring options for Buddy Hield as well. And then my boy Trey Mann. That's whatever team this man goes to, I'm getting his jersey, no matter what.
I'm kind of surprised that the Kings want to move on from Buddy Hield. Him and De'Aaron Fox, I feel like could be a really good duo if they get some other pieces around.
Yeah. Plus they got that one guy. What's his name? That rookie. That went off.
Shit,
Halliburton.
yeah.
Halliburton.
Yeah, isn't he a small forward, power forward?
Yes. Yeah, he's a forward. I can't remember which type though. Okay, so we got a little trade rumor talk. I have 2 trade rumors that have been going around, and I want you to see if you like these or not. So apparently the Warriors are targeting Siakam, so they can immediately upgrade the roster right away. Now they said this is just from an Instagram account. This isn't an official source or anything. The targeting Siakam is an official source, but they said they could package the number 7 pick and James Wiseman. Would you
Just
give
for
up?
Siakam?
Yeah. Would you? Well, it says targeting Siakam. I don't know how much they get back if they get anybody else. But would you give up?
I would request other people if I'm giving that up.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a number
wish-
7 pick and the former
3rd pick, 2nd pick.
2nd pick.
Yeah, everyone put too much pressure on Wiseman. They always do that shit to rookies.
Mm-hmm.
He performed like an average rookie.
Right.
But if I'm giving that up as the Warriors, I will demand way more than just
Who
Siakam.
would you want?
Fred VanVleet.
Not bad.
I wouldn't ask for Fred VanVleet.
Really.
They would never give him up.
No, Fred VanVleet's probably.
Plus,
But
he's a
you're
pretty good
giving him
contract.
Wiseman and the 7th round and the 7th overall pick. Like,
yes, but
you're
Siakam
giving
is a
away a
young
lot.
guy. Yeah, but Siakam's a young guy that they're trying to build around with Fred VanVleet. They're not going to just throw away what they're trying to build with for Wiseman and a potentially decent guy in the 7th round pick.
The Warriors are also asking for a few not a few first rounds, but I'd say 2 to 3 overall picks, total picks, and maybe some bench player that they have. I can't think of their roster right now.
I personally would ask for OG Anunoby or
Anunoby.
yeah, that or
Yeah.
Gary Trent Jr.
I forgot
One of
he
the
was
two.
on the Raptors.
Who? Which one?
Gary Trent.
Oh yeah,
He got traded at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. He was on Portland.
All right. Well, actually, we'll
Maybe
take a
Rodney Hood or something like
we'll
that.
do like a little question in
Like,
between the.
Do you guys think that is a good trade for the Warriors if they were to get Siakam?
Well, Siakam.
Just Siakam, or who else are we throwing in there with Siakam?
Well, let's just because obviously they're
Siakam,
targeting
the
Siakam,
Warriors.
but if they're obviously going to get somebody else, but Siakam's going to be the main target. So let's just talk about Siakam on the team because we obviously don't know who else they would want. I think
Yeah, throw
Siakam
Siakam
didn't
on there.
have a standout year this year.
He had a really shit year this year.
Fell off this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
he was bad.
So I don't know if it's the way that maybe there's a new like game plan strategy that they're doing. It didn't look like it. It looked like
The reason Siakam played so well in 19 they had Lowry, who was still great, and they had Leonard. That took off all the pressure of Siakam, and he was able to do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have Curry. You hopefully have Clay back to full health, at least at some point during the year.
Yeah.
You have Draymond Green. You have Wiggins. You have Oubre Jr. That takes Siakam is no longer the main guy.
Right.
I feel like he may not put up huge numbers again, but he'll definitely be way more impactful than he was this
Then he
past
was.
year.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he did really well without Kawhi Leonard in 2020, and
But then everyone was able to figure out how to stop a Siakam-led system, and he was never able to recover from that.
perhaps,
I do think
I
he has
think-
a point with the whole, because this man was what, like 21, 22 when it was a Siakam led team, where he was probably one of the main guys on that roster. Maybe that did have so much pressure on him. Who knows? But with Curry, hopefully Thompson, Draymond, all those guys you mentioned, it would take some
Curry and
weight off.
Draymond passed into this man at in the mid range. Come
Oh,
on
yeah.
now.
I think Siakam just had a bad year. It happens to almost every player around them. Paul George. It happens to whoever. And
It's more rare to see it not happen than to see it happen.
Yeah, of course, you're totally right, and I think that they just need to kind of take a step back. If the Raptors decide to keep Siakam, they need to take a step back, reevaluate, let him grow, realize that he's still a very young basketball player,
Yeah.
and he's never really had the responsibility of carrying an entire franchise and being the main guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think he had a bad year. It happens to everyone.
Right.
It was a late sophomore slump.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll do a question in between before I get to the next trade rumor. So here's the question for you guys, and you have to pick one or the other, and you can go on a little explanation on why. So both Ben Simmons and Andrew Wiggins, both are given the same amount of money.
Are they legitimately given the same amount, or is this a hypothetical?
I believe they are given the same
Okay.
amount of money. This was just I'm literally just reading off what the post said. It says, given that they both make around the same amount of money, would you rather have Andrew Wiggins or Ben Simmons going forward with your team?
Oh, I've seen this post. Ben, you want to go first? Because I almost sent this to you, Ben, but I knew what you were going to say.
Are we keeping them on the same teams that they are, or are we saying we could pick them and place them on whatever team?
That's up to you guys. What you guys want to do. That's all the question said.
I think
I'm guessing it's for your own team, like your favorite team or something.
I would want Wiggins. That because Ben Simmons proved this postseason he is not that guy.
You're not that guy,
Wiggins-
pal. You're not that guy.
No, he wasn't.
Are
He
you?
wasn't.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Wiggins.
Oh my god.
Wiggins fell off, had one bad year, and everyone's written him off since. He's never been given that starting big time role again.
He's so ass, Ben. He's so butt. That man is horrible.
Yes, but if
Horrible.
you're asking me who I would pay money to be on my team, I would pay Wiggins well before I would pay Ben Simmons. I would pay 15 other point guards probably before I start going after Ben Simmons.
All right.
And if I'm the 76ers, I'm trading Ben Simmons away this offseason.
Okay.
Can we not get too much into that? Because that's part of what my end of question is.
That'll be all I say about that.
All right. I would. I'm gonna take this as I'm the front office for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I have to choose between Ben Simmons and Andrew Wiggins, given light that I have my current roster.
Yes, both want to go to Cleveland and both want the same amount of money.
And I can only take one.
Yeah, obviously.
I am most likely going to choose Ben Simmons. And the reason I would choose Ben Simmons is because Andrew Wiggins is a decent basketball player. There is no doubt about that. He has hit shots before, for sure. But he is so inconsistent, it's not even funny anymore.
And
It
is
is
insanely inconsistent as well too. Like
Andrew Wiggins will have a great game. He scores like 30 points. He goes off, hits almost every shot, gets a bunch of rebounds, wins the game for him. And then the very next game, he scores like 3 points. He's over 20 on the field, doesn't hit a single shot except for free throws. And he hits like half of his free throws. He's absolute garbage.
that's
Right?
still more free throws than Ben Simmons would make.
Oh, I knew it was
And
gonna go towards
Andrew
that.
Andrew Wiggins doesn't play great defense. He plays as good as defense as an average basketball player, but he's not known for his defense, right? He's not really good at that. The reason I choose Ben Simmons is because, yes, he's inconsistent, but really the only thing that's lackluster in his game is his shot. And I wouldn't have him at point guard. I would have him at power forward. He's tall enough, he's big enough, he's strong enough to be power forward. He could be a great ball distributor coming off. Sorry?
That totally changed the question.
How did that change the question?
I was taking it as those two players right now at their position on my favorite team.
At their position, I'm taking neither. I do not want Andrew Wiggins on my team. I'll pay him a vet min to come off that bench.
I was gonna. You said you were gonna discuss Ben Simmons later on in the episode, so I was gonna save a little bit of that for later on. But if
Of course.
we're changing positions, that might swing me. Might.
Yeah, I would never, ever, ever try to get Ben Simmons as my point guard unless I am so desperate. But you can fix a broken shot. That's not that hard. Right. It's just that the 76ers, I don't feel as if they've been pushing him enough. Like, hey, you have got to fix this shot. It's so bad. And I don't think they've been doing that right now.
Why don't you think? Why don't? Off question, but why don't you think that the 76ers have been pushing hard?
Yeah, that's like one of the main reasons. Like that's like one of his main.
Absolutely, but he's been having this shitty ass shot for years now. Again,
So
it is not
why-
that difficult.
Why? And you personally said that the 76ers have not pushed him hard enough to change to make it better. There probably is some truth to that.
Right.
What would be the reason that the 76ers coaching staff and front office have not pushed him to get it better by this point?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not the front office. I'm not the coaching staff. I think they've been pushing him, and they've been pushing him hard, but his shot hasn't improved at all. So either they're pushing him really hard and doing something wrong, or they're not pushing him enough.
I feel like they're not pushing him enough because they are afraid that he will walk from them if they push too hard on him.
Get the hell out of here.
Yes, but they spent so many years waiting on injuries. Ben Simmons injury, Joel Embiid injury. They want those fuckers to stay. They're not going to push them away.
And,
I feel like
you know,
that might be hurting them.
and
That's it.
honestly, you already have a pretty decent roster in Philly besides Ben Simmons. He's definitely going to be a loss, but
You take them out, they're still probably top 5 in the West, in the East.
Right.
My bad.
so one of my questions for my end of the episode question is, what do you do with Ben Simmons? And we'll answer it now. And it's get him the fuck out of it. I'd get rid of him. I'd trade him for whatever you can.
I think I'd trade him because then you also have Tyrese Maxey that can shoot.
Exactly. And he's an actual small point guard. I don't need a Brook Lopez running around doing Lord knows what. Don't want that. So if I'm the Cavs, I'm putting him at power forward, and I'm saying, listen, your job is not to score the ball. I have Darius Garland. I have Isaac Okoro. I have this incoming power forward who can come off the bench. I have Jarrett Allen, and I have Colin Sexton. Colin motherfucking Sexton. I also have Kevin Love as well.
Yeah.
So I want you to play defense. Pick up where Sexton and Garland can't play defense. You need to go out there and guard Steph Curry. And you need to do a damn fine job of it. You've been complaining about how you're not winning any Defensive Player of the Year awards. Prove to me that you deserve it. Prove to me that you deserve it. Place him, that's all I want him to do. All I want him to do.
For my answer to this question, if I'm the 76ers, I sit him, I bring him into the front office. I have owner, GM, head coach, every big player in the front office, and I have Ben Simmons come in. And it's going to be kind of like a Matrix feel. On one hand, you can either change your position of power forward and you become a dominant big man and you help us. Or you refuse to change positions and we will trade your ass before the start of the season.
I don't know if I'd want him at power forward with the 76ers. Because you've already got Joel Embiid.
As the 76ers front organization, I would try to keep him as much as possible because of his defensive ability. Because he can't. He has a great court vision. He
really does.
He'd be a point forward.
Yeah, for sure he would. It'd be like the next LeBron James.
Damn near, yeah. But if he's refusing to change that, I'm like, okay, your ass is no longer going to be residing in Philly. Sorry. Yeah, and that would be the ultimatum I give him. And it would, where I wouldn't be like, no, I'm changing it. I'm like, how do you want your career to go from here on out? You are an adult. You are a man. Fucking make this decision for yourself.
I agree. I think, on one hand, it's really hard to keep him on the team if you're not going to let him shoot. Because one of the reasons why the Lakers were really efficient offensively in not during the postseason, obviously, is because they had Anthony Davis to help spread the floor. You got a big man. When you put, for example, Marc Gasol, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, KCP, and Dennis Schroeder, all of them can shoot. You spread the floor so wide. And they can't do that with Ben Simmons. Because they spread the floor, then, I mean, who the fuck cares? Let Ben Simmons take a three. Okay, he made that one. He's going to miss the next 13. Who the fuck cares? So defensively, he's a great guy. He's an asset defensively. But he's a liability on offense.
He's only a liability from deep. Inside the paint, mid-range, he is good. Passing, he is well above average.
Yes, he is.
If he moves down to power forward, you have Embiid, and Embiid, he's not great at three-point shooting, especially for a center, but he can do it. Like,
he can.
They're not going to be shoulder to shoulder underneath the rim all the time.
No,
they will have the floor spread out, and if he does move down to power forward, I'd go and sign another shooter, whether it's a start at point guard or to come off the bench, to help replace that.
Right. And I mean, you don't need Joel Embiid to shoot the ball because you have one of the greatest shooters in the game right now on your team. You have Seth Curry.
Yep.
And you, in my opinion, you have your shooter right there because we've seen, especially in the playoffs, we've seen this man not just be able to shoot 3-point shots. He has a great layup package as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he can do it very well. I'm thinking you need to bring some more people in who can actually shoot the ball. Because right now you have two of the worst shooters in the game on your team. You have Dwight Howard and you have Ben Simmons.
No one is asking Dwight Howard to take shots. They're asking him to do layups and dunks.
And that's perfectly fine. And he's doing really well at that. When he needs to score, obviously. And he's doing really well at that. But when we look at Ben Simmons, I still don't think I want him at power forward because I feel as if he's just going to get in the way of Joel Embiid. He's going to take away shots from Joel Embiid. He's going to take away these big dominant moments. Who is a more dominant physically center in the league besides Joel Embiid? you can only make the argument for Nikola Jokic, and that's his mind over physicality, really.
I Nikola Jokic is not physically more dominant than Embiid.
Not at all.
Maybe his entire offensive game. Yeah, I'd probably
Right.
take Jokic over that. But
Exactly.
like I'm legit trying to think of centers that can go toe to toe physically with Embiid. You know, maybe Steven Adams if Steven Adams is having a great day.
I was thinking Steven Adams, just physically.
Maybe Aiton. Maybe
Aiton's
I
got a lot
haven't.
better.
He has. Uh,
You know what I'm saying?
but maybe at most there's two others in the entire league that could physically stand up to Embiid right now.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. It's a difficult decision to ask, but I mean, Ben Simmons really just needs to get that shot down. That's his problem.
yeah.
Everything else can wait.
I
Get
actually
his
I
shot.
actually heard something that they might, whether it's whoever's teaching him, like whoever his shooting coach is, or maybe it's the organization of the 76ers, is going to potentially ask him to switch to his right hand for shooting to see if that does anything.
You could and see. I mean, just see what happens.
I mean, because you can't
It
get
can't
much
get
worse.
any worse, so
Yeah.
might as well try it.
Can't get much worse.
Right. I don't know. Like I said, I
Damn
think,
it, John.
God damn it, dude. Fuck. I need to like actually get a what did you say that it's called?
It's
A
like
stand?
a little, yeah, it's like a little thing that you clasp on your desk, and it's like a little thing that holds your phone. Tripod, but like it's not a tripod. Yeah, you
Like
need to
lamp.
get one
My
of
mom
those.
has my mom has something like that. Like
I
you
actually,
could put your phone right there, and
I actually have,
You want to
like
send
hold
that
it
my
up.
way, Ben?
I actually have one of those.
You son of a bitch.
It's a
It's called
Skechers.
it's called an A stand.
Oh,
Face stand. I'm gonna buy it
Yeah.
on Amazon right
mine's
now.
mine's a
Shit.
Skechers.
Is that a new sponsor we have?
No, I wish.
Get your.
I mean, I like their
Skechers,
light up
the brand that
sneakers.
no one thinks about when it
Yeah.
comes to basketball shoes.
But hey, you
Hey,
can,
they do make good shoes though. They do make good shoes.
yeah. Let's just keep saying that just so they can give us a sponsorship.
Skechers, I actually own a pair of your shoes.
Listen, yeah, I own a pair of your shoes
Legit,
in
legit.
kindergarten.
No, legit. I have a pair right now.
Oh,
They're
Oh, he's
super
one of those
comfy.
white dads that goes out and mows
Hey,
the lawn with his white
my-
Skechers.
My Skechers shoes are cool.
if your
My
white,
Skechers shoes they're not white. They're blue.
if their
they're
white
blue.
Oh, they're
Skechers shoes
blue.
don't have grass dye from it, they're not Skechers. Okay,
They're not Skechers.
you're just not that guy. You're just not.
You're
that
just
guy.
not
Don't
that
grill.
guy. You're
If
just
you
not
don't
that
grill and cut the grass with your Skechers, the fuck you doing?
Exactly. All right. Last trade rumor that I have is actually for John's Cavs. Damn it, John.
guy.
John did that on purpose.
No, I didn't. I don't know what's going on. I just laughed at Luke's face. Like, damn it, Jordan.
So mad. They're exploring trade options for Colin Sexton. Apparently.
What? I didn't hear that.
Apparently.
Tell me. Tell me.
Well, as a top young player, there's always going to be trade options.
Right.
Hell no. No,
there
you
is-
did not trade
there
away
is-
Colin Sexton.
There is no certain team that wants him, but there are some teams that are in the mix, like the Bulls and the Pelicans. John's frozen. Okay, there he goes.
Oh, there he goes.
No, I'm good now. I'm back now. I was like, oh shit.
Frozen again?
Oh
Right,
shit, here
there
we
you
go again. Now I'm frozen again. That's not good.
We can still hear you though, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Right?
Nope, now his
John?
audio's gone.
Yeah, of course, it's when it's a Cav question. Of course.
He got too excited and it stopped working.
I don't know what's going on with my phone here.
Sorry, babe. I'm just too excited. It won't work tonight.
So, John, you can still answer.
Okay, what repeat? I missed like
Oh, well, I guess he doesn't want
75%
to
of it.
answer Because it's like, what team would best fit Colin Sexton? And I
The
had
Cleveland Cavaliers.
okay, yeah, that's what I thought. But if he
Listen,
were to get traded,
we don't have a score. Were you gonna say something, Luke?
if he were to get traded,
If you were to get traded,
you cannot. He demands a trade
LA Lakers.
for LeBron.
But for LeBron, no, absolutely not. For Kyle Kuzma, let's get in Colin Sexton. We have a third guy who can score the ball. I see no trauma, like no bad anything with that. No bad juju. That's a perfect trade because we get our power forward and Kyle Kuzma. The Lakers get their actual third piece scorer that Kyle Kuzma sucks at. He's a piece of fucking trash. And everyone's happy.
Okay, I have like 3 different teams that could potentially work
Okay.
for.
Well, I figured this out.
I say Lakers. You know, like pretty much exactly what John said. They need a guard. Colin Sexton would be a good guard for them. Another Western team that I think could benefit from him is the Grizzlies. Make him the 2 with Morant being the 1. You have a really good young duo there that you can build around. And for an Eastern team,
There we go.
I say I would. Damn, I thought I had one, but then I started to think about it more.
Who were you gonna pick?
I was gonna say the 76ers. But with Sexton being the 2, you already have Curry there. And I kind of forgot about that dynamic.
Yeah. So who would be your 1 if not Ben Simmons?
Maybe I put Sexton at the 1.
Who? Wait. Who? Don't they have an actual like?
You wouldn't put Maxey?
Yeah, Maxey. That's who I'm thinking of.
I've never seen that man legitimately play. I'm sorry. I've not watched
Didn't he
him
put
play.
up like 50? He was like one of the guys
Yeah,
that put up
something like that. Yeah.
Damn.
So he's got potential. He obviously score.
If for some reason the Pistons don't draft Cunningham, he would also work at Detroit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
I feel like he would fit better on Western teams. I feel like for most of the Eastern teams that would legit have a shot, you need to work around things or things not to happen. That probably will happen, but I like those hypotheticals.
mm-hmm. So let's just get quick finals. So it's either the Bucks just took a 3-2 lead against Atlanta, and the Suns are already in.
I got the Clippers and the Hawks.
You got the Clippers and the Hawks, man. I got the Lakers and the Nets. What are you talking about?
No, they ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do it. LeBron is a great basketball player, but AD is a bum. KD, he's also a bum.
Bench warmer. Honestly, why did they give these guys? Oh my gosh! Stop touching your phone.
I didn't mean to. I was trying to wipe something off of it. He's a bench warmer at best.
Okay.
No, but in all seriousness, Milwaukee's going to win that series, even without Giannis.
If Milwaukee wins the series, I would love that matchup because I don't care if Chris Paul gets a ring and Devin Booker, and I'd love to see Chris Paul and Devin Booker win a ring, and I would also love to see Giannis win a ring.
I don't want to see Giannis win. I think Giannis is overrated. I really do.
2-time MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. How?
I don't believe he deserved any of those awards. I think that Giannis is a very athletic basketball player, and he's not bad, but I think that he doesn't have a reliable shot. The only reason he actually can perform is because of how athletic he is and because of his wingspan. Those are very important things in basketball, obviously. But it's kind of like the same thing with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal was such a dominant basketball player, but is it because of his size or is it because of his skill?
So are you calling Shaq overrated?
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I call Shaq overrated. I mean, people have him up there as like the greatest center of all time or one of the greatest centers of all time. I have him in my top five, but I wouldn't have him in my top
Because, like,
three.
when people start saying, "Oh, Giannis is overrated," because like you literally said, his shot is inconsistent. Well,
It's so
let's look
inconsistent.
let's look at Curry. He can't play defense for the life of him. He
No,
can't
not at
rebound
all.
for anything.
No,
Giannis can play defense and rebound.
of course. But
Why
Steph
does
Curry
that why
also,
does that make him any less
Everyone
valuable?
has a
Why does
weak
that
spot. They
of
have.
course, you're
yeah.
totally right.
So
You're
why
I
totally
would
you?
right.
rather but Giannis, you know, let's look at Ben Simmons who can't shoot.
Mhm.
Giannis both of them cannot shoot consistently, but Giannis is so much better because he has learned how to play around it. He has learned
Mhm.
how to perfect every other aspect of his game to where, yes, he won't be shooting 40+%, but he's going to do so many other things that you will forget that.
Mhm.
Ben Simmons has not. He won't do enough, and you will look at that shooting and be like, that's why y'all lost. Or that's why it was such a close game.
But Ben Simmons has one weakness, and that's his shooting. He can play great defense, right? He can lay up the ball.
And
He has a decent,
And
that's
Giannis
decent,
is.
Giannis'
decent,
one
decent
weakness
mid range.
is his shooting. That is Giannis's
Woo.
weakness.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Didn't you just say that was his weakness?
I feel like as if that's his main weakness, but that's not his only weakness.
What's his other weaknesses?
He plays again. He plays great defense. He's very athletic. He can score the ball very well. And what he does, dunks, layups, whatever it may be. But besides those dunkings and those layups, he has no offensive package. He can't really distribute the
Is
ball
his
very well.
offensive package. That is his offensive package.
Right, but I mean, that's his only thing. Steph Curry, the man
That
can
was Shaq's
shoot.
only thing. Was one of the greats of all time.
And that's why I think Shaq is overrated. I think he's a great basketball player because he's done very well in his position. And I think Giannis is, again, a great basketball player. He's one of the greatest in the league, but everyone's treating him as if he's like the best in the league. People are putting him up there like, who is the best player in the league? Is it now Giannis? We're completely forgetting about like five other players. Right? Like Giannis is really good, don't get me wrong. And he'll go down as one of the greatest power forwards of all
Wait,
time.
so then why doesn't he? You
Also
think he
true.
doesn't deserve like an MVP defensive player? You don't think he deserves any of that, even though you say he's one of the top 3, 5 in the league right now?
I think I would have him at around I'd have him number five in the league right now. Five, you can make an argument for four.
But you didn't answer
But
my question.
I don't believe he deserves Defensive Player of the Year because I think Anthony Davis should have won it that year. Right. He had better numbers. Numbers don't lie. It could honestly it could have gone either way, and I understand why they gave it to Giannis. I don't think he deserved it, but I understand it. His first MVP, I thought, sure, I guess you can give it to him. That's fine. Like, I felt as if LeBron deserved it. I really do.
You could make that argument for every defensive player of the year, for every MVP, for every rookie, for literally
Of
every
course,
award ever
you
given.
could,
You could have said, "Oh, it should have gone to them. Should have gone to them."
but not in
one of
2016
one
when
of
he won unanimous MVP. Steph
one
Curry.
okay, not every single one, but literally one of you're making this argument that he shouldn't have won this. Literally, one of the things I brought up in the LeBron Jordan debate was that he should have won Defensive Player of the Year,
Right.
and even you said, well, he didn't, so it shouldn't
Of
really
course.
go towards him. So
Yeah,
why are
and I
we making
agree.
this debate? Like,
Listen, all I'm
why are
saying
we?
is I
If we
listen.
can't supposedly
Of
give someone
course.
one, we can't supposedly take it away from someone.
All I said is that I don't believe he deserved it. And now you guys are hassling me because I said I
Well,
don't believe
I'm
he
adding
deserved
this to the debate list. Is
We're not-
Giannis
we're-
overrated?
it. We're not having an MJ versus LeBron, or we're not having a Giannis is overrated debate yet, of course.
So
But
laughing
all
at
I'm
the fact
saying-
that it was supposed to be who do you think is going to win the finals, and now we're discussing if Giannis is a player of the league.
Because
Listen,
we can go
listen,
so off tangent.
Listen, we just hit the 1 hour mark. Okay, we have some time to to go off topic a bit. Usually we want to aim
Well,
for an
good.
hour 30. So
Well, all I'm saying is again, Giannis is a great basketball player, but he can't distribute the ball to save his life. Can't shoot the ball to save his life. He plays great defense. One of the greatest defensive players I've seen in the league today. I still think that there are a number of players better than him overall. Kawhi Leonard, Davis, Rudy Gobert.
but you
is
don't
a
think
great
for one of
example.
those years they won defensive player of the year that he didn't deserve it? Cuz
I think AD deserved it. That year. And I actually think that Giannis deserved it this year instead of Rudy Gobert, personally.
okay, now we're getting into two players that you don't like.
Hold
So.
up. Hold
I
up, hold up.
fucking hate Rudy Gobert. I don't dislike Giannis. I think he's a great basketball player.
John, I would like to finally answer this question.
Okay.
It's going to be the Milwaukee's going to win. It's going to be the Suns versus Milwaukee. Like Luke said, I wouldn't mind seeing either team win it or any of those players win. However, I feel like Chris Paul is going to retire either at the end of this year or next year at the latest.
Mm-hmm. Really?
What do you mean? Why do you say really like that?
I assumed he was going to retire like 2-3 years from now. I didn't think like this year or next year.
Dude is 36, and he has dealt with a lot of injuries in the past few years.
He's dealt with a lot of injuries his entire career.
I feel like if he does win, he definitely has retirement in mind. But
I
then-
agree.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
I feel like that would be a great, whether he retires literally after they win, like on the podium, getting the thing, and he says, "I'm done." Kind of like how Peyton Manning did it a few years back, or if he retires in a year or two. He just deserves to win a ring after everything he has done in his career. Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday, they will all get another. They will get another chance within 3 years to make it to the finals again.
That's why I'm also leaning towards Phoenix.
They will be in the finals again within the next 3 years.
And also Devin Booker as well, because this man's been ever since, even when they sucked, no one was talking about Devin Booker.
Yeah, Devin Booker deserves like 3 or 4 All-Stars by this point.
Oh,
but
yeah.
No one ever talked about Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
So he only has what, 2? 1 or 2?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it would warm my heart more to see Chris Paul hold up that trophy.
I think
I agree.
the big three of Phoenix, like I would love to see, because DeAndre Ayton came back, had a great season, and he definitely deserves the series win. You have Devin Booker, which I just talked about, and then Chris Paul, which you just talked about. So
And you also have a bunch of those role players like, they have Drake Crowder, who I feel like has been one of the most underrated forwards for like the past years now.
Ever since he left the Cavs in 2018, he's been phenomenal, and that's pissed me off so much. You have no idea. Man couldn't hit a single goddamn shot in 2018, and now he's hitting every single one of them.
I keep on forgetting how many fucking players that 2018 Cavs team had. Jesus
Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Love, Derrick Rose, Jake Crowder. They had so many.
LeBron.
Dwayne fucking Wade. Oh my god.
None of them are on the team.
And they all were
none of them were on the team.
They had J.R. Smith still in his relative prime. And he was so ass. Makes me so bad. But the past is the past.
Correct.
that is true. Well, that's all the topics I have for today.
Good.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys want to do the team simulation again, or what you guys
I have 2 kind of topics.
I have three.
Three.
Okay, we can just skip the simulation for this episode.
You want to you me you?
Yeah, so I'll start, then you, and then me, and then you.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I'll start. This first one's pretty quick. Let's say that Phoenix wins championship this year, which I'm actually rooting for Phoenix so goddamn much. Who do you see the Finals MVP going to? Devin Booker, Chris Paul. Who do you think is going to win it? Based off of how they've been playing thus far, who do you think is going to win?
I feel like it'll be Chris Paul because Booker's been great, Aiton's been great. I feel like any given game, either three of them could be the MVP of that game or even a series.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
But Chris Paul's passing, Chris Paul's passing one sets him apart from the both of them. And Chris Paul's constantly giving you near 20, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
If Chris Paul can average 20 plus in this series, I say he will have the MVP, the Finals MVP. If not, that argument for Devin Booker becomes pretty strong.
I'm agreeing with you on that one as well.
Yeah, I can see either because we had that. Well, it's kind of been a thing where Chris Paul leads whatever team he's on to some sort of playoff run. You have the OKC, which had no chance. Yes, they may have gotten out early, but they had no chance of even making the playoffs in mock standings.
6%. They gave OKC a 0.6% chance of making the playoffs at the beginning of the year, and what they got in at 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, if he didn't get injured, who knows what that would have led to. And I mean, so I think my first choice is Chris Paul because he is the most valuable player on that team, and on any team, I think he is. So whatever team he would go to would increase their chances of making a playoff run. So
also, I feel like on the hypothetical that Booker is the one to get Finals MVP, it's probably going to happen, and even though it would be complete bullshit, everyone's going to kind of hold it over Chris Paul's head like they do with Curry. They're going to be like, he never won the Finals MVP. Look who got it over him. Like, really? You let him get it over you? Like, he was 23 at the time. What the hell? But we all know why they're there. So
yeah.
I feel like if they win, and Chris Paul retires at the end of this year, you will see the Suns drop off really big. Unless they somehow bring Rajon Rondo, and Rajon Rondo somehow finds a way to regain his youth.
I mean, playoff Rondo is a real thing.
True. But Rondo's also getting really old at this point as well.
Yeah, he is.
John, what do you think?
I think it'll actually go to whoever Drew Holiday does not guard. If he guards Chris Paul, I don't think that Chris Paul is going to be able to average 20 plus, and it'll be Devin Booker, and vice versa. I think Devin Booker may be able to average 21, 22, but then at that point, Chris Paul will step up points-wise.
Funny as hell you mentioned that. I turned on the Hawks-Bucks game moments before they tip off, and Trae Young was out, so they had like 3 guards that they could rotate in at any given point, and they asked the coach, hey, who's going to be the one to carry up the ball? Because either 3 of them could be your point guard. And he said, the person carrying up the ball is the person not guarded by Drew Holiday. Like he has a very strong defensive impact as a guard.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he locked up Damian Lillard, and I want to say 18, maybe it was 19. I mean, Damian Lillard is not an easy guy to lock up. So.
No, not at all. But...
Okay. Ben, you want to go?
Okay. Yes. This what I'm about to read off is not really part of the question. It's just to show the hypothetical situation of this. But I also feel like what is being said is quite interesting. It says the Phoenix Suns' best lineup does not include Devin Booker.
I've seen this. Yeah.
CP, it's CP3, Bridges, Johnson, Crowder, and Aiton. Without Booker, they allow 91 points per game this postseason, which is 97th percentile in all lineups. Putting Booker in for Johnson, they're allowing 115 points this postseason. That's 36th percentile.
Mhm.
However, obviously, they go from 130 scoring with Booker to 115 with Johnson scoring. So this isn't necessarily for the Phoenix Suns, but if you're the coach, which lineup would you put in? Would you go for the high scoring offense and hope that your team can continue to shoot consistently? Or would you go for a defense that will lock down nearly anyone?
Offense.
Defense
Oh,
wins games, though.
defense. I disagree. I think defense wins
offense,
champ. Yeah, go ahead,
offense
Ben. You
wins
go.
games. Defense wins championships. If I'm the regular season, I really don't give a fuck. In the postseason, I am going for the defensively strong lineup because, we've seen time and time again, sometimes players and teams in general will have such an off night, and hell, that could be the deciding factor in a series.
This is fair.
However, the defense is almost always there. It is rare to see a strong defensive team crack. So
Mhm.
I would throw in the best defensive lineup I could. I'd be like the '04 Pistons. Like, you're going to, my defense will completely outshine my offense, and I don't care about it because I will hold the trophy at the end.
I just think that without Devin Booker, it all, like I said, you have to take into account Drew Holiday. And without Devin Booker, Chris Paul is going to get locked up. So now you're relying on these. You're relying on Cameron Payne, who has shown up really well this playoff run. Cameron Johnson, DeAndre Ayton, and they are all great offensive players, but can they put up consistent numbers? And the answer is no, they can't.
That's why I said it was just a hypothetical, not geared towards Phoenix, because Devin Booker brings so much more and as Devin Booker, I would be willing to sacrifice that. But
I'd be willing to
let's
sacrifice a few minutes, obviously, but
let but let's say it's a team like the Cavs or a team like the Timberwolves where we're not known for our offense. We don't have these great scorers. I'm gonna fucking throw in my defense. I don't care at that point.
yeah, I agree with you on that one as well. I agree.
But
But
Phoenix is in no way in hell benching Devin Booker for anyone.
and they shouldn't. He's too good of an offensive player not to. Now, I do think that this offseason and really next year, regular season, they need to improve his defense because that has been very lackluster.
Yes.
But he is not the only guy out there who can't play defense. I mean, Chris Paul is not a bad defensive player.
He's not
His
a great
size,
either, though.
no, but that's really just his size. I mean, he plays really well against ones and sometimes twos, but I mean, you've got DeAndre Ayton, you've got Cameron, you've got Cameron Johnson, you've got a bunch of these basketball players. Miles Bridges, you have a bunch of these basketball players who can play really fucking well defensively. Devin Booker doesn't need to necessarily pick up a bunch of slack. I will say this series, though, may be because if he lets Drew Holiday go off, that's a problem.
If you're Phoenix, who are you starting off making guard Drew Holiday?
Um, Probably Miles Bridges.
Okay.
Probably Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges just has a wingspan that it's really hard to beat if you're not a true offensive guard, and Drew Holiday's not.
And you said, isn't Bridges their small forward, correct?
I think so.
Who would you have guarding Middleton then?
Honestly, I just say let Middleton go off. I don't care at that point. Cameron Johnson, I guess, or Payne or whoever the hell is there in their starting lineup. I would let Giannis. I'm not trying to ever guard Giannis. That's impossible. You're not going to do it. I would try to keep him as far away from the post as possible. Their defense against the Lakers worked perfectly. Keep him as far away from the post as possible. But I don't think that they're going to be able to stop Giannis. You may be able to contain him a little bit, but let him go off. Let him score 40 points. 40 points is not going to win you the game. Stop everyone else, right? If Giannis hits 40 and Chris Middleton shoots 30, you've got 70 points right there. That is not winning you any of those games. Let them go off. You need to stop everyone else. You need to stop Drew Holiday. You need to stop Brook Lopez. You need to stop these guys on the bench who are going to come out with chips on their shoulders wanting to prove something in the finals, prove that they're worth spending actual minutes on the biggest stage in NBA history right here. So
Lopez was, you mentioned him and containing him. That dude came out like a bat out of hell in that first quarter. Literally bullied the fuck out of Capella. Like, I was watching it go down. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Brook Lopez is not
Career
this
high,
kind of guy.
33 points, playoff career high.
Yeah, motherfucker went off.
they did.
And that's exactly what they need. But
All right, John, what's your
John, what is your number 2?
So I actually have 4 now.
Do I have
But
to come up with the third one?
So the next 2 are pretty short. If you want me to just combine the 2,
yeah, let's combine the two.
One's more like a shout out. So I'll start with the shout out. I'd love to shout out Paul George. Paul George. Paul George was known for being Pandemic P for the last few years. He is no longer considered, to me at least, Pandemic P.
Not at all.
That man is the only reason, and I think I know why. When we see Indiana Paul George, who is on Indiana?
Don't
Besides
slam your
Paul
table,
George.
your phone's moving.
Who is on Indiana besides Paul George? Does anyone even remember?
Was Roy Hibbert on that?
I think maybe for
I'm not gonna lie, I
1
wasn't
year,
paying
some shit like
attention.
that. So the point I'm getting at is that Paul George is a really good first guy. Fuck. Sorry, guys.
This is embarrassing. There you go.
He's a really good first guy. But when he has to sit behind Kawhi Leonard and not be the first option, that's where he starts to kind of go down a little bit. And there are games where he pops off. But if you notice, they never pop off the same time. Kawhi Leonard has to have a bad shooting day for Paul George to have a good shooting day. One of the two.
You could probably count on one hand the amount of times they both went off at the same time.
You really could. And I mean, I was kind of like, okay, whatever, when he was complaining about Doc Rivers just setting him up for pick and rolls and shit. And now I really do believe that probably was the case. They weren't utilizing Paul George's true skill set. He's more than just a come off the pick kind of guy. He can do anything on the offensive floor. He's kind of like a small forward, but with a shooting guard skill set right there. He can dunk the ball just as well as LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard or whoever it may be. Giannis even at times. He's done some really good fucking dunks.
Yeah, but I feel like you said, they didn't have the right system going for him, and I feel like
I agree.
he was never looked at as that guy that
Mm-hmm.
people just kind of assumed he would fit into any, not necessarily fit into any system, but he wasn't the guy that you change your system for.
Right.
You know, any team LeBron's going to, they change their system for him. Lakers even changed their system more when AD got there. Like Curry himself changed the Warriors system from how he was playing.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like for a player of that caliber, you know, if you are beyond the role player, you need the system changed to you.
Yeah. And I think Ty Lue did a really good job after Kawhi Leonard got hurt and changed that system to benefit Paul George.
Was so fucking skeptical of Tyronn Lue being the
I
head
was
coach.
too.
Like, you saw his time in Cleveland. It was pretty much LeBron's team. He was doing everything.
Yeah,
Like, I know it was like a joke, but like, come on, we don't joke about shit unless it's like legitimate shit
yeah.
like that.
He was a
And
good
then,
choice.
yeah, but yeah, and then he starts like coming up with game plans and shit. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah,
Maybe we were a little too harsh at first, but
for sure.
maybe Cleveland fucked up and didn't give him enough chance to really work it out without LeBron.
Absolutely, you're totally right. And and so I mean, really, I think now we have to look at what is his next move for next year because he's proven himself. Not Tyler Paul George.
Oh, George.
He's really proven himself. Do you let him kind of take over more of the offensive capabilities, or do you keep him the way he is? Because I mean, he's done really, really, really well. Again, he's done really, really, really well with a crackhead from down the street in Pat Bev. He's done really, really, really well with the only reason he's famous is because he got stepped over by Allen Iverson as a head coach. And I mean, he has a few other basketball players. You have like G League Michael Jordan, Reggie Jackson.
Hey, that man performed though.
He did perform. He did perform. And again,
So,
Ty Lue
like,
performed. Pat Bev did.
your whole thing about that. If I'm Ty Lue, I try to change the system, not necessarily to make Paul George the number one, but try to get George and Kawhi working the way they both need to be working. I
Yeah.
know that's so much easier said than done because their styles are different, but we've seen them that they both need to do it. However, if it can't work that both of them are like that with the system that is designed for both of them to shine, I'm sorry, Paul George, but I want Kawhi being the number one out of the two of them.
I agree.
And that might piss him off. That might make him demand a trade. So be it.
Yeah.
But
Luke,
first,
what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Ben. You want to finish
I
up
was
your
just saying
thought?
it. But first, I try to get them both going.
They're working against each other. They need to work symbiotically, symbiotically, whatever the word is. Yeah. Luke,
Yeah.
do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so when the trade first happened and you realize Kawhi and PG are going to be on the same team, you kind of have this dynamic of tough offense with Paul George's, with Kawhi's tough offense and defensive capabilities with Paul George's shooting. He can also drive to the paint for a little bit, and you didn't really see it that much when it first happened. And then Kawhi gets injured. Paul George does his own stuff because you don't have to rely on Kawhi taking some of the spotlight. It's your team for those games. And I'm kind of going with what Ben said. I would rather have Kawhi be my number one on the team. But if we can trade Paul George, he demands a trade, you can get a shit ton for him. And you can get really good player that supports Kawhi's. You can get a bunch of players, actually. You can get some bench guys, and you can get a one
Probably get
stand.
those picks back.
Exactly. And you can get someone that is not an all-star. Well, they can be an all-star. They don't have to be a superstar, but that helps Kawhi better than what Paul George is. Because, again, they're butting heads kind of. With
Cody Zeller.
Yeah, also, that was OKC's big issue with Westbrook and Paul George was that
The first year, but the second year it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but then they never let it grow any further than that.
No, because they traded.
They never gave the team around them to do that. But yeah, they Ty Lue and the LA Clippers need to agree that they need to give this shit time, this new system time to work out. Don't look at it by like, oh shit, trade deadlines here. It's not working. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I think they both have only one more year on their contract, though.
Yeah,
But
so I
if
feel
you
like
could-
this
if you could get
coming
them
year
both
is.
happy with you could get them both happy with the new system
Mm-hmm.
and still have good players around them. you can. It's a lot easier to get them retained. However, if by like around halfway point you say fuck that system, and you're pushing for Kawhi, Paul George probably may not want to resign.
This
You'll
coming year
never get to see that full possibility.
is a big year for the Clippers because they need to find a new type of game plan that both satisfies both Kawhi's needs and Paul George's without one of them getting upset of taking each other's spotlight. And if not, then one of them's going to leave. And most likely it'll be Paul George, Kawhi. He will, even if with a new system, he would probably get most of the touches. So I have a feeling Kawhi would stay, Paul George would leave. But it's probably going to come down to this coming year and this coming season after the finals.
Yeah. So my next topic, real quick, Damian Lillard. What do you do if you're Portland? This goes for Dame and CJ McCollum.
See, Damian Lillard tweeted out that he wanted, I forget who that was, that he wanted this person as his coach.
He wanted was it
Jason
Carlisle?
Kidd?
No, Jason Kidd.
Carlisle is going to be the new head coach,
Yeah.
which
It was-
I think is a horrible decision. But
That made Kidd say, no, I don't like backing. That made Kidd back out of it, was Lillard's comments on Twitter. You know, if Lillard starts complaining about the coaching system and all that whole thing, if I'm Portland, I'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're the reason we're in this situation right now. We had to go with the backup because you couldn't keep your mouth shut for 5 minutes on Twitter. However, he could still probably want to leave, which it's crazy. He was like, oh, I want to be, Portland for life. I want to retire here, this and that. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't get his way with a coaching decision. He's like, and now we start hearing rumors that he wants to leave, which is really fucked up. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I do hate the power that that the players sometimes have with this shit. Like, no, you are the player. Come on now. That's like LeBron has that power, which is bullshit and all that, but if they're never gonna win with Lillard, I'm sorry, they're never going to.
see, I actually disagree with you on that.
I don't think they will with Lillard.
I think they could. They need a better coach than Rick fucking Carlisle. They need a better big man. Yusuf Nurkic is decent, but I mean, they need an actual guy, and they need a bench. That's their biggest problem. They always have a decent bench. They need a good bench, and they need defense too. McCollum and Lillard are not defensive players. You need to pick up the slack for those guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm Portland. I'm considering trading. I'm listening to offers for Damian Lillard.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm at least listening.
I would rather.
Yeah.
I would definitely rather trade than watch him walk.
Yeah, and I mean,
hell, even if it's for a second round pick, it's still better than getting nothing. He walks.
well, I don't think he can walk. Yeah, I think his contract
He has a year left, right?
Yeah, so
23, 23.
I want to say he has 2 years left. I could be wrong. Could be wrong, but
So
don't know. But real quick, I hate to do this to you guys, but I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. So Ben, if you want to just go off on your, and I'll pick up wherever you guys leave off. But I'm gonna have to go to the
loo.
restroom, the loo. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.
I love that new microphone. Yes, don't have to hear shit.
gonna go grab some water.
Okay, no problem.
Did Ben also take a potty break?
No, he's going to get water.
No. I'm going to get a Pepsi. Did you stop the recording?
No.
Oh. Are you just gonna edit it out, or?
Yeah.
I've been holding that son of a bitch in for an hour. And he returns. Can we see a man bun? Ben, can we see a man bun happen?
I don't have a hair tie with me.
Next episode is Man Bun for the 30th
Oh,
episode.
okay. I'll wear a man bun for the 30th.
That's our celebration.
Yeah.
That's our special.
Whenever you want to like count us back in, I have the length of the when the contract ends.
Yeah.
He actually never stopped recording.
No, so you can just pick up wherever.
This son of a bitch.
All right, so during our break, I looked up the length of Lillard's contract. I didn't realize what he did. He signed a 4-year extension, which goes through the end of the 2025 season. So this whole notion, this whole notion that he's gonna try to do shit, nah, fuck out of here. Portland, you have, 4 years to get a system, to get a team. They're not. I'm not worried about Portland anymore. Like before, I was kind of like, oh, they might need to do something soon, but they have plenty of time.
I mean, he's not getting any younger, though. He's pretty sure he's 31.
True, but even so, at the end, let's say it's 2 more years. He's 33. There's still going to be teams trying to trade for him,
Yeah.
and there's still going to be teams that'll be willing to give up a lot for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on how he does.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Was that the end of your second and third topic?
Yes, it was.
All right. For my second topic here, out of these 5 young players, Zion Williamson, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, and John Morant,
Okay.
which one or multiple ones could you legitimately see with a different team within the next 3 years?
Zion.
Definitely Zion.
Zion Williamson. Not
Why
even
do you
a little bit of a hesitation. He's on the Pelicans, for God's sakes. Are you kidding me?
His family
He
has
al-
also stated.
Yeah, there are already rumors about him wanting to request a trade.
But it's his family. He hasn't said shit. He has not been on the record. He has not been rumored to say anything. It is all his family.
You're very right.
For all we know, Zion Williamson loves New Orleans. He loves the Pelicans.
That gumbo
It's
is
just-
what that shit is, all that shellfish.
God, when he first got there and he was so fat. My gosh.
Parade that they have every year. He loving that too.
Yeah. Probably.
But that's his family saying
Right.
shit. So
So
I'm not.
maybe
I
Luca.
could see it, but
Maybe Luca.
I could
I
legitimately.
think Luka will stay.
I think Luca will stay. I think Jason will stay. I think Morant will stay. I could see Donovan Mitchell leaving Utah. I could see him either demanding a trade or leaving in free agency whenever his next contract is up and going to a different team, going to a bigger market team.
You can kind of say it about every single one of these people, though. You can say John Morant for a bigger market, Jason Tatum because maybe they're still losing after the next couple seasons. Luca, I know he had some sort of disagreement with the firing of Carlisle and the general manager.
And
So
all just the Porzingis shit too. Porzingis was the one who really had the problem with that.
so yeah, I think there's a potential for any of these guys to leave, in my opinion. I think the greatest chance might be Luca, and I think it's Zion though at the top.
I'm saying Zion and Mitchell. Zion, though, I'm still kind of unsure about, just because I haven't heard. He hasn't publicly stated anything or
Right.
demanded anything.
I would
He's
be
a pretty.
so surprised if he is still a Pelican after 3 years.
Who knows? The Pelicans could, all these young guys could like turn it on. Lonzo could become the next Rajon Rondo.
Who knows if even
I think
Lonzo
Lonzo
though
will
will
be the
stay.
next Steve Nash.
Yeah, which was pretty much like Rondo and Paul.
I think Brandon Ingram's gonna leave.
Ingram never wanted to be there.
Yeah. Now I'll go to Josh Hart.
Yes, but out of all three of those who were traded for AD, Ingram was the one who disliked it the most.
Yeah. Well, he felt as if he should have stayed. Like he deserved it more so than Kuzma.
He definitely deserved it more than Kuzma. Honestly, I feel like, yeah, at the time, I feel like he deserved it more than Kuzma. I don't think the Pelicans would have taken the trade with Kuzma. Maybe that's the reason that Ingram got put into that package. They wouldn't take Kuzma. They wanted a shooter.
Maybe. Maybe. My last topic also has to do with the Jazz. I think all three of us know where we're going to be going with this one.
Dude,
I swear, if the words Rudy and Gobert come out of your mouth.
So, my question, you guys have been saying, let's just realistically break this down. The past 10-ish episodes we've been going off, I think Rudy Gobert's garbage. You guys think he deserves his max contract. The biggest reasoning as to why you guys are saying that Rudy Gobert deserves his max contract is because they need him to win.
did you really
They
have to bring
didn't
this
win.
up at the end of the episode?
They didn't win, and they still signed Rudy Gobert to a max contract. So my question to you guys is, what the hell's the matter with you? Apologize to me.
Hold on, no,
He
no.
doesn't help them at all. At all.
He's shushing you.
That's pretty offensive.
Didn't the Brooklyn Nets sign 3 superstars? And oh shit, they didn't win. Didn't? Don't the Lakers have 2 superstars and the greatest player of all time? They didn't win. So
I'll let you finish before I go off. I'll let you finish.
Shit happens.
Say whatever you guys are gonna want to say here. Lay it on me.
Shit happens. Jazz still need Gobert if they want to win a title. He had a bad game. He had a lackluster series. Again, shit happens. We've seen that. We've seen it happen with Westbrook. We've seen it happen with KD. We've seen it happen with nearly every big star. Sometimes shit happens. That is not a reason. It's like people calling out Paul George saying pandemic Pete, playoff Pete, all that, because last year he didn't play all that great. The man is still a dog. The man will still get shit done.
You're very right.
The Jazz still need Gobert to win. Gobert fits well in that team. Gobert deserves that $205 million contract.
Are you like? Can I just prove you wrong here for a second?
You can certainly try.
When it comes to the LA Lakers, their primary scorer, their primary big man, Anthony Davis, was injured. By the way, I don't know if you remember this, but they were actually up in the series and then he got injured. Same
I think
exact
I think
thing.
a series loss is a series loss regardless of how many players are injured or healthy.
I completely disagree with that because I mean you can't just take away the best scorer on that team and automatically call it a fair. The Phoenix Suns definitely would have given up a fight. I don't think they would have won if Anthony Davis had stayed healthy.
Are
Same
you
goes when
saying
we
the
talk
Suns are
about
undeserving to be in? Are you saying the Suns are undeserving to be in the finals? Are you going to say the Suns, if they win the finals, are going to have an asterisk next to them because of how many players got injured?
not at all. All I'm
Okay.
saying, listen, all I'm saying is that you use the argument that shit happens, players get injured, right? Brooklyn would be in the finals right now if James Harden, the best shooting guard in the league and top three, arguably, in the entire world history, injured. Kyrie Irving, one of the best point guards in the league, top two, again, arguably, you can make an argument for Russell Westbrook, top 10, arguably, history, injured. They were leading that series 2-0. They both got injured. I'm not saying that the Milwaukee Bucks don't deserve to be where they are. I'm just saying that it could have been a different outcome if they hadn't been injured. Rudy Gobert was not injured. Donovan Mitchell was not injured. Mike Conley was not injured. And he still played like ass. And he still lost the series for them. He does not deserve that max contract because he's not helping them win. He deserves a max, but does he deserve the biggest contract in Jazz history?
Did they
No.
not get the number one seed in the West coming out of the regular season?
Number one seed doesn't mean jack shit if you don't win a championship. I don't care about you said
Zero.
you
That
said
was their
too. Who cares about the regular season?
true, but that was as the group. That was like their second major playoff run. When have when
Right.
was when have we almost ever seen a young team that was pretty much built from trading, I mean drafting in a few trades. You know, not these not like the Miami Big Three or the Warriors Big Four and Five, but like genuine built teams make it into the playoffs for the first or second time as a group and legit do something. So rare.
2015 Warriors. They drafted Curry, they drafted Clay, and they drafted Draymond.
That wasn't their first time in the playoffs. That wasn't their first or second time in the
No, but
playoffs.
it wasn't the Jazz's first time in the playoffs either. They had gone before, years before, with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. They weren't ever as high a seed as they were 2 years ago when they were like a 3 or 4 seed, or this year when they were a number one seed, but they still were at least in the playoffs. And you have to also understand that they lost to a crippled Clippers team. They lost to them. They lost to a Clippers team that didn't even have their best player. You can't tell me that Donovan Mitchell, or I'm sorry, not Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell deserves it. You can't tell me that Rudy Gobert deserved that supermax contract, the third largest deal in NBA history, because he doesn't help them win. Again, nobody gives a fuck about regular season. Who the hell gives a shit? Not a goddamn. The Hawks are number 5 in the regular season, and they're in the Eastern Conference Finals with a decent chance to win and go to the finals, rolling over the best team in the East. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. He's garbage. He's no offensive play whatsoever. His defense is mediocre at best. The only thing he's good at is being tall.
I just think John has a bias towards anybody that doesn't score.
I do. If you don't score, you're not worth jack shit. This is basketball.
Dude,
Or that doesn't shoot.
there was
Not that
there
they
was
don't score.
there was an entire team that won the NBA Finals with no one that averaged more than 20. They all deserve the money they got that year. They all deserve that title. They all fucking performed. They weren't shit. They weren't garbage. They fucking won the finals against the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, mind you.
Yep, you're right. They did.
Scoring is not the end all be all for basketball,
No,
and that is an actual huge ass issue, especially for youth and high school players right now, because they think that is not the end all be all for basketball.
Right.
You're agreeing with me now, but you're saying
He's
'cause he
gonna
can't
he's
score,
gonna
you
he's gonna he's gonna do something. You know how
Luke knows. Luke knows. He's been around long enough. So, well, I will say defense is very important. LA Lakers, best defensive team in the league, right? I love the Lakers. I love LeBron, and I like AD.
Are you gonna say you're a LeBron sexual?
Well, it just so happens that I am a LeBron sexual. But what I will say is that, sure, in 2004, the Detroit Pistons won the finals. Yes. But you didn't have 2 or 3 players that just did defense. All of them scored more than 10, 15 points. And they all had good players on the bench that were coming off also playing great defense. Right? You don't have a defense in Donovan Mitchell. You don't have a defense in Mike Conley. You have maybe Paul Millsap.
That is why they pay him so much, because he has that defense.
But he's not helping them win. It doesn't matter if he's not helping them win, because they don't have a good offense to combat that decent defense.
So how is that Rudy's fault?
It's not Rudy's fault. I'm just saying he doesn't deserve a supermax contract.
His guards not being able to play defense is not his fault.
No, I completely agree.
His guards not being able to consistently shoot is not his fault.
So let's say they had LeBron. Let's say they had LeBron.
Does not mean he does not deserve the money he is getting.
Let's say they had
disagree
LeBron.
with that.
Let's see they had Gobert and LeBron instead of AD. They win the championship. Does he deserve a supermax?
If they win the championship and he's
But
playing
it's
the way
also
he
because
is,
they have LeBron.
yes. Right. But the Jazz don't have LeBron.
Okay, so
That's
then
the
how is it?
problem.
Okay, so they just need that one piece. So how is it his fault that he doesn't deserve a
LeBron
supermax?
is not just one piece. You
Okay,
have
it's
to
fine.
understand that
Okay,
the Jazz can't build around a
Donovan Mitchell.
make-believe
Okay, fine.
situation.
Donovan Mitchell, and let's say they got Devin Booker.
Okay, instead of Rudy Gobert
No, and they had Rudy Gobert.
and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Did they win the championship?
Yeah, and they win the championship.
Let's say they do.
Then I say that he does deserve that
Okay,
supermax.
So
You'd be putting up the same stats.
So it
How-
takes
Because-
so it
but-
takes
but
Devin
you- but
Booker.
you
So it
have-
takes Devin Booker for him to deserve the supermax. So how is it his fault that he doesn't deserve the supermax with the team that he has now?
Because you can't spend all that money. Listen, what I'm trying to say, you have to understand.
Exactly, he's getting stumbled.
Hold on. You have to understand.
Watch the backtrack.
Rudy Gobert does not deserve the supermax contract because he
With-
doesn't perform the way that the Jazz need him to. If they have Devin
the way
Booker,
the Jazz need him to.
if they
everyone else
can somehow get Devin Booker for however they can afford, and he helps them win the finals, does Rudy Gobert deserve a supermax? That is the question.
You said yes.
And I do believe so.
So
Because if they
You
because
are-
if they can
You
if
are
they listen
hypocritical towards
So
your
hold on.
own statement.
So
No,
this is how this is how it's gonna go.
because
No,
they're
this is
winning a
what
championship.
this is how you're saying it. You're saying Devin Booker is the one that determines whether he has a supermax or not, and the championship win.
No. I'm
Yes.
saying the added scoring. I'm saying the added scoring. If you can afford Devin Booker with giving Rudy Gobert a max contract and you win a championship, even if it's just for 1 year, you win a championship. Absolutely. Go for it. I
Okay,
don't
but this
give
is
a
again,
fuck.
like Ben said, this is
But
only
they
their
don't
second
have
year.
the offense.
This is only their
This isn't
second
just-
year as a good team.
But- And
The fuck?
that's totally fine. But in the near future, you can't see Donovan Mitchell, a pure volume shooter, getting any better than he already is. Sure, he might improve his efficiency a
That is
little
not
bit.
Gobert's fault.
Yeah. How
No, but I'm saying that he does. You can't spend all that money on a decent player if you're not winning. Rudy Gobert is not going to be the reason they win a championship, no matter what anyone says.
But didn't you just
He's
say
not.
defense wins championships?
We
Ben
both
said
agreed on
that. Ben
You-
said
No, you
that.
both
I
agreed.
agreed on it,
You agreed.
and I agreed. You're right. But they have a really good defensive team here, and they lost to a crippled Clippers team.
Let's
So
not say
defense-
crippled. It may be crippled, but you also said that
Well,
Paul
that's
George
still
carried
one of
that
the
team. Yeah.
Yeah, he
The
did.
Clippers
Because
are
I
one of the
honestly
best
didn't.
depth and defensive teams in the league, even without Kawhi Leonard.
Right. And I honestly didn't expect them to beat the Jazz with Kawhi Leonard. And they beat him without it. This goes to show you that Rudy Gobert is not helping this team as much as we thought. He's not. He's not
Gobert isn't gonna
doing it.
guard those guys regardless, whether they're healthy or not. Gobert
Which
is
is my
guarding their center and power forward. He is not guarding Kawhi Leonard, and that is not his fault that those guys are going off.
you're totally right there. You're totally right. But
But
if he's not putting off any offensive capabilities, he can't even score more than 15 points a game.
does he need to though?
Yes, he does. He does
They
need to
paid-
score more
they
in order
paid
for them
him-
to win.
They paid him knowing what he could do. They're paying him to do what he has been doing.
And that's why I'm saying that the Jazz made a
And-
mistake. He doesn't deserve that. I have no problems with Rudy Gobert. He is
I
a
don't know
great
about
player
that.
for
I
his.
don't know about
No.
that.
He is a great player for his particular skill set. He's really great. I am the one who's blaming the Jazz. They did not deserve to give him a supermax
I
contract.
think you're blaming Rudy Gobert and saying he doesn't deserve shit.
Yes,
and now you're saying
because
it's the Jazz's fault.
yeah, because
And-
you're also saying that
Then you were
if
saying
they win a
the bench,
championship,
and then it's the guards, and now it's the Jazz. But
but then
you
when you
keep on
say they
changing
add a
the
new
answer.
player, then when you say they add a new player and win the championship, you say it is worth it,
So,
even
look,
though it is in none of his control.
I took that question about Devin Booker as if before this year they somehow got Devin
I
Booker
never
for super cheap.
whoever thought that it would be before this year. I'm saying after this year.
I did.
Who would have
After
thought
this
that?
year. Okay. After this year, they get
this
Devin
year or
Booker.
after this year, regardless.
After this year, they somehow get Devin Booker for super cheap.
Or any
plays-
any offensively great shooting guard. Or
Let's say
point guard.
James Harden. Let's say James fucking Harden.
It doesn't even have to be
Right.
James Harden. It could be any good offensive guard. Above
Okay,
average.
Well, above average. Let's say, for example, Jimmy Butler. How about that?
Sure.
Jimmy Butler goes to the team. They win the championship. Okay, does Donovan or not? Sorry, Rudy Gobert deserve the supermax contract at that point? No, I don't.
But
Because
so if it was
because
either a
he's
year
proven
before,
to me-
so if it was
No,
either a
yeah,
year
it's
before, if it was a year before,
Yes.
it would, no
because
one,
it's this year.
no, you
This
never
year he's
implemented.
proven to me.
You never
I-
implemented.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I assumed. I apologize.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have assumed.
Okay, but I said
I know we're really against that in
I
today's day and
even
age.
I even said if they get Devin Booker for next season,
Right.
would he
Okay.
deserve a supermax? You did not even say anything about, oh well, if this season didn't
Then-
happen and
then-
it was reset.
Then I misunderstood, and I apologize for that.
I
but
think
if
you're
it's-
just trying to backtrack your answer.
No,
I-
I'm not at all. I
So-
truly
so regard-
misunderstood.
So, for the remainder of Rudy Gobert's contract, they could win, let's say, every single game, every single title. He could win every single Defensive Player of the Year. And you still say, because of what happened this year, he doesn't deserve that contract.
I wouldn't say that. Okay, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
But,
From
if they,
what
just
I'm-
win,
but
but
listen-
if they just win a championship, you'd say that.
If they win a championship, just a singular championship, after adding an extremely good, an above average.
You just said that next year, if they get an above average player as a guard,
Mm-hmm.
shooting guard, and they win the title, he does not deserve it because of what he did this year. But if they were to somehow win for the remaining years after that, for the length of his contract, and Gobert is winning these Defensive Player of the Years, then he does deserve it. Like,
Yeah, but What I'm saying is that if he goes on for the next 3 years and wins 3 championships, then I would have been wrong, and he does deserve it.
If
But
they
from
win
what I've
a
seen this
championship, you would
year,
have been wrong.
if they win one championship, if they win one championship after adding a really, really, really good shooting guard, then no. No, he doesn't deserve it. That's not his. That's not his. If they were to have added before this year, then sure, why not? If you can afford Devin Booker, if you can afford James
Okay,
Harden, Jimmy
what
Butler, go for
what
it. I don't give a fuck.
but why is it such a difference
If
if they
it's
were
a
to do it next year versus this year?
Because it's this year. Because we've seen the Jazz lose again to a a crippled Clippers team. They can't win with Rudy Gobert. It's not happening. So
But
if
all of a
they
sudden,
can't
if they win
win,
next year, they can win with Rudy Gobert. If they win the title next year, they can win with Rudy Gobert. So
and I
how on earth
agree.
does that change your narrative?
Because from what I've seen this year, they can't win with Rudy Gobert. If they win the next 3 years with him, then I'm wrong, and I admit that. But I don't think I will be.
Win a title with him, that proves that they could win with Rudy Gobert.
I think, but we have to. Are we saying that it's the Jazz team right now, and they win with Rudy Gobert? We're not adding any players. We're just saying that this team right now, who lost to a Kawhi-less Clippers, this team, if they somehow win next year, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Let's say that. Let's say that.
If we're saying that, they don't add a single player to their roster, maybe a few bench changes here and there. Then if they win a championship, then yes, he does deserve the Supermax. If it's one championship, doesn't matter. You still won a championship.
So if it happens next year without any changes, it's good. If it happens next year with a change, it's bad. But if it happened this year with the change, it's good.
Yes.
Bro, you make no fucking sense.
What I'm saying is that
None.
this year has changed it all for me. Because this year I've seen them they beat Memphis, right, when Ja was injured. They beat I'm sorry, they did not beat the Clippers when Kawhi was injured. They beat them with a half-hearted Clippers team. Again, still a pretty decent team, but they didn't even have their full power, and they still lost the number one seed with one of the best players in the league, in Rudy Gobert. They still lost, and so I'm saying that if they would have had Devin Booker before this season, and they won a championship this year, I'm saying sure. Does he deserve it? That's up for debate still. But sure, why not give him the Supermax? If you win a championship, I don't care. But next year, if they add somebody and they win a championship, that's not on Rudy Gobert. That's on whoever came in. Whether it be Jimmy Buckets, whether it be Devin Booker, whether it be James Harden, whether it be LeBron fucking James. Doesn't matter. Now, if you add a few bench players and Rudy Gobert wins, hell yeah, it's deserved. And I would have been wrong. And I will admit to that. From what I've seen this year, no. You can't lose to a shitty Clippers team and say that you deserve a Supermax. No, not in my book. You guys can disagree if you want, but you're wrong.
You can change your narrative all you want.
I haven't. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude,
All right.
we just started running in circles and you changed it up like 5 times. Come on now.
Luke and Ben are butthurt about me proving them wrong,
No,
so they
John's
claim
just-
that I've changed my narrative
You
Nah,
did
a
change your
million
narrative.
times.
You definitely did change your
No,
narrative.
when? Give me one example. One. I'm
when
asking for one.
when you somehow changed it to, oh, it had to have been this year, even though me and Luke both were talking next year.
A
And
misunderstanding.
then all of a
How
sudden,
can someone
that
misunderstand?
changed.
You're even laughing at that because you know how stupid that sounds.
It does sound stupid, but that's what it was. I had took it as they added Devin Booker this year and they won it with him.
You just admitted that your entire narrative was stupid, correct?
No, I'm saying that the misunderstanding was stupid.
No. No.
Yes,
Oh,
that's literally what I just said.
On your part.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying. That me misunderstanding the question was stupid. I admit that I made a stupid act. I'm sorry.
But
I
I have a feeling
apologize.
he's saying that
My
because
fault.
he said that, oh, next year if they get someone else, then he deserves a contract, and he didn't want to say that, so now he's trying to change the narrative.
I did say, I did backtrack a little bit, and I did say that is up for debate. I could go either way on that. I really could. I really could. But I'm kind of convincing myself as I go that Rudy Gobert just sucks ass and doesn't deserve jack shit. Doesn't even deserve a spot on an NBA team. He's so bad.
I just think you had this like
One
new
of the
NBA
4 players to get
mentality.
3. One of the 4 players to get 3 or more defensive players of the year doesn't even deserve a spot. You fucking kidding me?
And you have like this 2000s,
Good point. That's a good point.
2010s. You have this 2010s NBA mentality where defense, you just bat an eye to defense, and you rely on shooting and scoring. When you said it yourself, defense is the one that wins championships.
I didn't say it. I agreed with it. There's a difference.
No, it's not.
Agreeing with it is this fucking far away from actually saying it.
Okay,
It is
so
saying it without saying
Ben says defensive win championships. I agree with that point. I agree that defenses win
Yes.
championships.
And I do.
it. And all of a sudden, defense doesn't.
But
And-
okay, but defense
We are going
isn't
we are going
only
3 more
reason.
minutes on this.
But I'm done anyway. But all I'm saying is that defense is not the only reason you win championships. It's a big part. Don't get me wrong, and it most likely will be the deciding factor. But if you have zero offense, you're not winning a championship. You're not even getting it out of the second round. And what did we see?
Exactly.
We saw a team
Jazz
with
that
zero
has
offense.
Jazz that
Zero
had the
offense.
Jazz had the defense to back it up with Rudy Gobert. And then
Yes.
it's the offense's problem. So how is it Rudy Gobert's fault that he doesn't?
But it's not his fault that the offense wasn't doing shit.
I'm not saying
He is doing his
that
part. He's doing his part to earn that money.
You're right, and his part isn't enough to deserve a supermax contract.
But you just said he is earning that money. You just said that.
When did I say this?
Just now.
No.
I said Rudy Gobert is doing his keep. He's earning that money. Yeah, I agree.
I never said I agree.
You
I said
You're shaking your head up and down, though.
You literally just said.
Well, I'm. It's the same thing I do with Ben.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
funny how that works
So
out.
again, Luke and Ben are butthurt that I'm proving them wrong again. So
And John's
It is
making
what
up
it is.
excuses to make him seem like he's winning everything.
I am
Hey.
winning everything.
Hey, that could be my feature. Gobert deserves the contract. Or something.
Oh, Luke, don't you dare!
I mean, I can do whatever I want.
I will not buy it. I will not buy it.
I'll buy you one. I'll buy one for you, John.
I'll put it in the fucking garbage immediately. I
Well,
swear to God.
Ladies and gentlemen, we aim for this to be an hour and 30 minutes, and if John didn't have this topic, it would have ended at an hour 30 minutes. But sorry for this 2-hour long podcast today.
I swear, we've gone like. We have to be nearing 10 straight episodes of talking about Rudy Gobert and his
Oh my
fucking
god, it
contract.
has to.
And I can't stand the fact that with Bradley Beal,
But
they
I
just
feel
don't
like-
win. He's not a winner. Bradley Beal is not a winner.
Bradley Beal, man. Jesus, why are we talking about so many different
I
random
don't know.
Well,
I feel like
because
you know what?
Luke and I had an argument about whether or not Bradley Beal is a winner, and so I was bringing that back.
That was like 2 episodes before I even joined this podcast.
Yeah, it
We're
was.
going way back.
Yeah, we are going back.
Anyways, listen, if we can get someone else here to try and prove John wrong, maybe then he'll come to his senses, and maybe he'll try and back.
Maybe.
But you know what? No, maybe he would, but then he'll just backtrack and be like, "Oh, well, no, I meant in a hypothetical
So
sense."
what'll probably happen is that I'll prove everyone wrong, and they'll all try to make an excuse saying I'm backtracking.
There's nothing that you can
try
prove me
to-
wrong.
Try to
there's
compete
nothing-
for us.
Okay, fellas, like
There's literally nothing that can prove me wrong
Listen,
and change my
you
opinion.
know what I know, and you know the fans that Rudy Gobert doesn't deserve shit.
Nah, because you know
He
what?
don't
They're
even
gonna be-
deserve a roster spot.
Okay, he's just trolling now.
Yep.
Go back to France or whatever it's called.
Jesus Christ, John.
I can't even say his country of origin. My God,
It's a shit country too.
that's like
Listen,
saying
all I'm
that's
saying
like
is,
telling us to go back to English. Like,
yeah.
fuck.
All I'm saying is, people are gonna be watching this and see how much you backtrack and how much you try and.
We'll see.
I will.
We'll
I
see.
will tell everyone I know to just jump to this last like 40 minutes, and they'll see.
Do you want to
They
do
will
that?
see.
Do you want to do that, John?
I'll do. I'll tell every customer that walks into my store.
No, you know what?
Hey,
Ask Victor, and I do not
I will.
want him to be biased.
I'll tell him you are not allowed to be biased.
And say, Victor, do you think I backtracked at all?
But listen, you're gonna if he does side with me, you're gonna say he's biased anyway. So what's the point of that?
I swear I won't. I promise I won't.
Pinky promise?
Yeah.
I don't
he
know where my
said, like,
camera is. Right here.
if he foolhardily says I am not biased like this, I'd believe him.
Okay.
You know,
Victor has yet to prove me wrong.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, we're gonna end it here because I worked 6 days this week and last week, and I just wanted a nice, peaceful podcast. We had a week off, and then John just comes out of nowhere with a Rudy Gobert debate out of nowhere after we already had a 2.5 hour long debate 2 episodes ago. I'm getting gray hairs. Okay, well, we'll
that's
see
my
you for
job.
episode 30. No, it's not. Your job is to just.
That's what I'm paid for.
2 gray hairs every time John mentions Rudy Gobert's name.
I knew right. I knew right when he said Rudy Gobert. I'm like, dude, this is not going for an hour and 30 minutes.
As soon as you said Utah Jazz, I'm like, fuck. Fuck. I know where it's
Do
going.
not say
I
his
had to
name.
bring it up.
No, you
I
didn't.
had to bring
no,
it
you
up.
didn't. You
I
could have
did.
waited.
Really
You could have waited.
No.
It had to have.
We could have
Had
done
to
it
have.
You could
when
have done
like
it episode 30.
we had no. Yeah,
I
episode 30.
couldn't wait. I couldn't wait.
You
Telling
couldn't
you,
have made that like your one topic.
And the best
Jesus
part is,
Christ.
I had episode 30 ideas in my notebook, and it said Rudy Gobert debate, but I
Well,
don't
we
want
got it done in episode 29.
Not really.
I got your back, buddy. I got your back.
Well, that's the end of this one. I'm gonna go take a nap for 24 hours.
I would like to ask one question.
Sleep, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
Can I ask one question though?
Fine.
Does your headphone change colors?
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Noticed it.
noticing that, and that looks really nifty.
He has fancy headphones because he believes Rudy Gobert deserves that contract.
Yes, they're like actually connected the two.
Yeah.
I see. Well, is that also why you don't have any lights surrounding the California Mamba thing you have right there?
They're on.
I don't see them.
The light is shining. The light from
Hold on.
like a lamp is shining directly onto it. That's
They're also dead. But you could see it
Oh,
for like a
so
split
never mind.
second. But they are
Never mind.
barely on.
Okay, so Luke can afford a $100 gaming chair, but can't afford new lights.
priorities, man.
Because he's lazy like Rudy Gobert.
I mean, you
on
can see it.
offense.
You can see it perfectly fine.
I see half of Kobe's face, and it almost looks
It's
like.
only half of Kobe's face. It's not supposed to be the full thing.
Never
Oh,
noticed
well,
Kobe's
then it
face.
makes
I've
sense.
just always seen the Mamba. I've never noticed his face up there.
Dude, I have
I can
had.
see a little
There's
bit.
been so many situations where I left this light on when I went to bed, and I woke up and like it's a perfect reflection from there to the bed, and it's just Kobe just staring at me. It's so scary.
He's making sure.
He's watching over me.
I would be so scared.
The worst part was like I went
Eating
to
your meat, you look over and there's just Kobe staring at you.
I'd be so scared.
like, man, Kobe, I love you, but distance, man, distance yourself, man. 'Cause
It's also just come on, we're still in
Come
a
on now.
pandemic.
put a fucking mask over you, man.
Did you guys
Anyways,
see that new Delta variant is coming out now?
Yeah, I heard about it.
And I think it's a perfect timing that they're coming out with this. And all of the world's athletes are going to congregate into one area.
All
and
right,
then
we're
go
just
back
gonna
to
end this
the
episode before
countries.
it gets too political. We'll see you next
All I'm
episode.
saying